never forget when the flight attendant told me what a well-behaved baby I had. He didn't make a sound on the flight from Detroit to Phoenix. But what she didn't know was that he would be inconsolable if I put him down. You see, I routinely held him all day and all night. I know there's parents out there who are nodding their heads and thinking, oh yeah, we did that. One of those high maintenance kids. Well, that's what we thought. But then, one day, as our son approached his first birthday, something interesting happened. He stopped making eye contact. He stopped wanting to be held. He screamed for hours if the phone rang. He became destructive to everything around him. He learned to open doors, and he began running down the street. We had bars on his window. We had the locks on the outside of his door. It was a 24-hour job just keeping him alive. Where do you go for answers when you're dealing with something like this? The pediatrician didn't know. The child psychologist had a different diagnosis every week. The psychiatrist looked at him for about 20 minutes, opened up her book and said, oh, he's got Asperger's syndrome. He's got what? You know, he's like Rain Man. But don't worry, there'll be help for you in the schools. Well, we had no clue what Asperger's or high functioning autism was. We took our son to the University of Michigan for testing, and that confirmed the diagnosis, but now what? I wish I could say that the psychiatrist was right and there was help for us in the schools, but that just wasn't the case. They tried their best, but they didn't have the training or the resources. As elementary school went on, the gap widened between our son and his peers, both socially and academically. By fourth grade, he was completely ignored by his peers or taunted. He would say to me, Mom, I'm going to have all my friends over. The problem was, he didn't have any. By now, we knew that autism required specialized intervention, but we had exhausted all the resources in our area. Occupational therapy, social skills, sensory integration therapy, those were just but a few. What our son needed was a school. We looked in our area, we looked in the Midwest, we looked all over the country. We had a hard time finding something that existed. We found our answer in Houston, Texas, at the Monarch School for Children with Neurologic Differences. We made the decision that our family would live apart. Myself and my children moved to Houston, and my husband stayed behind in Michigan. We're in our 4th year at the Monarch School. People ask us if it was worth it. I can tell you that we have never regretted our decision. I can also tell you that my son is not Rain Man. What he is pretty smart. He's very social, sometimes a little bit too social. He's funny, he's got a great smile, and he's happy. Thank you. I've been a bragging mother for long enough. I think it's time for me to introduce another mother and a father. Our keynote speakers for today's program, Holly Robinson-Peete and Rodney Peete, are among the nation's strongest advocates for children and families living on the autism spectrum. Holly is, of course, well known for her numerous TV roles, including Judy Hawkes on the Fox TV police drama 21 Jump Street, Vanessa Russell on the ABC sitcom Hanging with Mr. Cooper, and Dr. Melena Ellis on the NBC WB sitcom For Your Love. She also appeared in the very first episode of Sesame Street. As a former Detroit Lion, former NFL quarterback Rodney Peete needs little introduction to the football fans in the room. In addition to the Lions, Rodney spent time with the Dallas Cowboys, the Washington Redskins, Philadelphia Eagles, Oakland Raiders, and Carolina Panthers. He retired in 2005, holding the record for the most career passing yards amongst quarterbacks at the University of Southern California. Together, Holly and Rodney lead the Holly Rod Foundation, which supports families affected by Parkinson's disease and autism. In 2010, the Holly Rod Foundation introduced the Give the Gift of Voice campaign, which provided tablets with specially designed apps for children on the spectrum to use so they can communicate with their families. We are very pleased that Holly and Rodney could be with us today to share their story. So please join me in welcoming Holly and Rodney.